Yeah.
Like we always do at this time, Omar.
Always. No, it's on you this time.
Nah.
It's on
You know
you
I
this
gotta get
time.
the rap song. Dog, it just your birthday just passed. Come on, nigga.
Alright, man. I ain't got no freestyle
Come
for
on,
you
give me a
today.
freestyle.
You got
Give me a
it.
freestyle.
I ain't got it. Y'all amping me up. I be lit all day. I ain't got nothing else to say. That's it. Yeah.
I swear that just
That
breaks
was
the
a nice
ice.
flow.
Nah, man, get out of here, man.
What's going on, people?
Hey, yo.
Today is Sunday, the 20th, and we've got a new guest. Introduce yourself.
I thought I was gonna get opportunity to rap too, but I'm not.
Go ahead.
Go ahead,
right now.
Yeah.
Let me feel it.
Yeah.
Hey. Go.
Yeah.
So my name's Lorraine, but they call me Lolo. Coming in because I just turned 38.
Hey,
and I'm live.
I like that.
Lolo, her name is Lolo, y'all.
Hilarious. So back in the day, 88.3 used to let you call in freestyle rap.
88.3.
bruh,
And I used to call in
time ago,
right in
bro.
my composition notebook and then get on the radio and drop some beats.
That's some real Florida stuff right there.
That was throwback, bro.
So today's topic is a repeat of last weekend.
Yeah.
That it was interesting. Last weekend was a riot because everybody was kind of like on some well, not everybody. It was some hype conversations going on.
Hype.
But I didn't get part one, so
It's about what we bring to the table, as men, as what a woman would bring, so we can kind of like understand where we're going with relationships. You get what I'm saying? So it helps to know where everyone's coming from, so everybody can get an idea of how we want to handle things throughout our time of being on this earth with someone else. So we clear the air. Feels good to do so,
Bro,
right?
clap it up, bro. That was good right there, bro. Go ahead and clap it up, bro.
I'll clap that up. I'll clap.
Absolutely, bro. That was good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. But yeah. So, Lorraine.
yes.
Wait.
Lolo. Lolo.
Okay, fam.
So, Lolo. So, however you want to see it, however you want to answer that. Like, what do you think that women like to bring, or you would like to bring to the table to a relationship, or what would you expect from a man to bring?
That's the
table?
question. Right?
So, back to what we were talking about earlier before we actually started recording, as I was sharing with Omar, I just turned 38, July 22nd. He said you had a birthday recently as well. And, birthdays always come with just that outlook on what's next, life, growth, elevation, all that good stuff. And so for me, I really decided that I'm going to take a year off of dating. I am at a point where I feel emotionally exhausted and I just want to reset. And so, and so understanding what an individual brings to the table, for me, this is opportunity for me to step back.
Right?
Detox what was, those experiences that I've had, and now reevaluate where I am now as a I'm a grown woman looking at 40, because you already there. Omar, where you at?
Wait,
Yikes.
Omar, you on the other side?
Bum. She hit you with the Hemi.
Omar, you on the other side with the people?
I'm 34.
Okay, see, me and Omar over here. Where you at?
I'm still in my 30s. Okay, I'm 39.
Ooh,
right?
like you're right.
I'm at the cusp.
You're on the cusp.
Why are we doing this today?
Why am I being attacked?
But see, I'm behind you.
Okay, that's fine.
And I just think
That's
39
fine.
when you're on the cusp. There's a different look to life.
What's that mean?
Nah, what you mean by that? What you
Innately,
mean?
internally, when you know that you're approaching 40, I've had a lot of friends that have crossed over, and I've seen them go through this like, what's happening with my life and where am I in life?
I'm not thinking like that.
There's a group of people that think like that.
But she's letting you know that there's a group, bro.
There's a group. And so I decided I wanted to do like this road to 40 and begin to prepare and plan and do the work now, so that I don't have those same experiences that when I'm at 39 looking at 40, it's not anxiety, it's not a whole handful of regrets, but that I've done the work and I'm going to embrace that next decade of life, right? Okay. And so What do I bring to the table, Omar?
Nah, I'm actually more interested in what you were saying right quick.
Yeah, so that's where the mindset is in regards to relationships, and me deciding to take this year off to do the work so that I understand that I am the table.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
And then when I say I am, I'm speaking for women in general.
Yeah.
We are the table. Mm-hmm. And why I say that is women have an innate ability to come into a man's life, and we shape, we redefine, we support, we add, we multiply what he has in his life. And then it's a progression and we go forward together.
Beautifully articulated.
But I have to do the work. So that when he walks in, he recognizes where he is in life and he knows what he's looking for in a partner. I then show up as a healed individual.
Yes, that's a key word.
I can't come and my table is messy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where does he lay his stuff at? Where does it go? How does he fit in all of this?
Low. All right, keep going, girl. I'm listening.
And so I just had to realize that I had an opportunity to date someone in my 37th year who pursued me, and I had known him for about 2 years before I allowed him to hold the title.
Wait,
I allowed him.
So I like what you're doing. You're like putting things in chapters. It's like having a memory bank and an internal journal to know what you're dealing with, who you're dealing with, how you're going to deal with them, which helps a lot because then it structures the way you want to see your life in the next 6 months to a year because you don't want to handle or deal with bull crap. You get what I'm saying?
That's right.
So that's smart for one. And to say, that you're creating that table, you have that table that gives you're the table. I like that because it gives a balance of, hey, we all have to have our table and we all have to have our mess cleaned up before we go to the next individual, which is very damn. I have nothing bad to say about it.
No, I love it. I do have a few questions. On your journey of rest, we're gonna get to what do you bring to the table. On your journey of rest, when do you remember you started that journey?
So he and I made the decision that this just wasn't it. And I think everybody's table isn't made up. Mm-hmm. Everybody has a different story. It's a choice, right? Life is a progression of choices. And so I made that decision when he and I decided that this just wasn't it. And Omar, I kept allowing certain individuals to be in my ear, and I was extending grace, and I was giving him chances and opportunities. And the question I kept asking myself, but why? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But why? But why am I giving these opportunities and these chances whereby I don't need to?
Right.
And it's okay, sir. You go do the work. I'm going to do the work. If that opportunity is still open,
right.
we can do this work together. But right now, this isn't healthy for my mental health to be in this space with someone who was toxic.
Mm-hmm. So would you say that friends and other people on the outside of a relationship can dictate the way you think and see it?
Oh, yeah. And people judge you and they misjudge you a lot. And so for me, I think that I know who I am. One thing about me is I'm clear about who I am. Mm-hmm. And that can rub people the wrong way.
Of course. Transparency does that all the time.
It can rub individuals the wrong way in regards to your personality type, the way that you present, the way that you speak, the work and the time, the effort that you put into yourself to ensure that you're living a healthy and a wholesome lifestyle. So when you show up, sometimes people think it's too much.
Right. So what was the time frame as to say, you know what, my journey of rest, it starts now, like how many months ago?
So I knew my birthday was coming up, and it might have been around April, May.
Okay.
And I didn't want to date.
So what would be your measurement? So you've defined it perfectly as far as detoxing, the past experiences. I am gathering that whatever emotional hurt you have, or whatever thoughts that you may have, in your next relationship, you don't want to bring that experience. So this is the time frame where you're saying that. And
disappointment, not just, it wasn't, I think more or less for he and I, it was my level of disappointment because it sounded, presented, and felt as if we were going the long way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so when you're like single and so many people are wanting you to get married, the excitement around this could possibly be it.
Absolutely.
But you got to pay attention to all the red flags.
Pay attention. I won't forget the line of questions that I had about that, simply because I want a side note to what you were just saying. It's vitally important, especially to our listeners, that people could say these sweet nothings in your ear and they can say all the right things, but we misjudge the value of time. Mm-hmm. Time will always show patterns. And if we're not watching the behavior, all right, we're going to always remember the last thing that we liked about that person. All right. So for that reason is when you're entering that phase where you're starting to date somebody, it's good that they have shown a genuine interest or they've done something to go the extra mile for you. But then as time goes on, what are they doing? Are they consistent with that same thing that they started with? Because we all know, and we say it all the time, how you start is how you maintain.
Right.
All right.
This is how it should be.
And that's how it always should be. People look at me all the time when I start talking about recertifying my relationship.
Oh, I like that.
You get what I'm saying? And so
I like that, because in real estate we have to get continuing education classes so that you can recertify your license every 2 years.
So guess what? So you know how many people judge me and be like, "Oh man, you've been with your wife for 12 years and you will still go through her phone?" Right? So it's not that I'm going to go through her phone every day, every week. It probably been 3 years. It's probably been 5 years since I've gone through her phone. But at this particular moment, if I felt like just picking that junk up and looking at it or whatever the case may be, guess what? She's recertifying right now. Because guess what? Just because I trusted her for 5 years, I want to see if it's still legit. Is she still within compliance to our relationship? All right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to sidetrack on that, right?
But I also want to support you in that, Omar, and say to you, though other individuals may have their own opinion about that ideology, that's on them. As for me and my wife, this works.
No, what I'm saying? No, I don't care nothing about other people's opinion, because the most people that always be like, "Oh, so you don't trust them?" They in and out of relationships every 6 months. So they outcomes.
Shade to the people in and out of it.
They can say shade all you want to. Reality to the people. Their outcome. They don't even desire their own outcomes, but yet they're chasing their own ideas.
Right.
Yeah.
That don't make sense at all to me. You don't like what you're getting, so you're going to keep on doing what you're doing? You're weird.
Insanity.
You're weird. So going back to the question where we were talking about rest, right? You said you started around about April or May. What is your measurement of success, and what would be your milestones to say, "Oh man, I have accomplished it at this point," you know, and so that you can know when you're ready to start accepting invitations, or not invitations, but approaches when a dude, you get what I'm saying?
Right. So I understand that I'm in a season of rest, and I have individuals that are approaching and they have expressed interest.
Yeah.
But I also understand that this season of rest wasn't just something that I chose. It was something that I heard God say in prayer. And so a gentleman who is interested in me coming out of rest, and I know that is not time yet, I said to him, I would know the sound when it's time for me to come out, because there's been someone that has expressed interest. We've been able to kind of develop a foundation of friendship. There's a sound that he's going to have. There's a presentation that he's going to come with. And there's a level of consistency that he has shown. Out of respect for where she is, I'm not going to badger her so that she can come out of this space and be my girlfriend. I'm going to respect her space. We can develop a friendship. And when she knows that she's ready, because there's going to come a time where she knows that she's ready, she's going to transition and allow me the opportunity to pursue her. But if a woman says that she's at rest, you can't beat her down and, want her to come out of that place. And it's like, sir, you're not respecting the boundaries that I've set, and you're not hearing my heart. And so I've had to answer your question, Omar. I had someone not hear my heart, and he said that I was being selfish. And I was like, ooh, that hurt.
The type of energy that guy might have had. They have this this quick, I can make you change your mind type of energy.
I'm about to take notes because I got to talk on that.
and when you have guys that are so pushy, who don't know how to let off and are in a sense desperate, of course it's something that you don't even want to deal with in the first place, because it's more of a turnoff.
So I don't know if it's desperate or a man's ego, that he's identified that she looks like the woman I want to be with. I like the way she moves. And, for him, he's like, we would be so, I don't care about the power couple image and all of that.
Yeah.
You know, and he's a professional in his space and he has his right to feel the way he does. But I think in him hearing me say that, it was more an ego attack that I wasn't open to his invitation.
So speaking of power couples, going on the financial side of it, right? Okay, so what was that?
No, me and my girlfriends were just having this conversation over brunch. And so that's why I have on my suspenders. We just had schoolgirl theme and
that's good. It's fresh. It's right off the mind. So, all right, everybody wants to know and everybody asks this. All right, financially, in a financially well off or low position in life, do you feel like the person has to meet you at the same level? Or is it okay for them to be lower than you? Like as a woman.
As a woman, and this is individual to me. I don't speak for the masses. It does not. So again, this is a conversation we were having at brunch. I think on him, he needs to know, is he comfortable with his financial state? If he's not yet where he wants to be, but he desires to be in a relationship, Omar, it's cool. But do you have a vision for where you want to go?
Fact.
Right? And so again, we judge and misjudge one another so much that he will come into a situation and he's not confident where he is financially, and he sees the woman and becomes intimidated or feels inferior to her when she doesn't even care all that much that you're not where you want to be just yet. Again, we are the table. That's for the masses, as far as we being the women. We are the table. So if a man comes and he sits down with the woman and says to that woman, financially, I'm not yet where I want to be, but this is the desire for how I want to get there. It may take me some time, but I want you to know that I have a vision. A woman, she gonna be down. We down. I got the table. I got the ideas. I know somebody that knows somebody. My girlfriend, husband did this, you know.
I'm going to jump in right here, and I'm going to, with respect, say you're going to be down.
That's why I made sure to say,
you're a dope young lady.
Individually, I speak for self.
You're a dope young lady, all right? I'm listening to you. I'm not going to lie, all right? This is the most rational conversation.
Oh, don't do it, Omar.
You know what I'm saying?
Picking on nobody.
Omar, I'm going to tell you, Omar, you know you just said this is rational. So in regards to the gentleman I spoke about previously about the disappointment, one of our breakdowns was about communication. And so my level of communication and his level of communication didn't match. And it would create a breakdown in the relationship because he felt that I was condescending with how I would speak to him.
Would it be fair to say he wasn't understanding what you're saying through communication?
Sure. Omar's having a whole field day because when you find your tribe, this is what you do.
Yeah.
You get excited because it's like someone who listens and they respond, and they don't respond just to be heard. Omar's having a field day, so that's how I get when I find my tribe. I'm down for the communication.
As it should be.
As
it should be, yeah.
Absolutely. What I do want to piggyback, not to change, to go back, as it should be for real, not to change. Just something to notice. When a man approaches a woman and then he sees her lifestyle, and let's say financially, his lifestyle is a little bit below her, right? He can kind of see that when he approach you. He can see what you're wearing.
But don't misjudge it, though.
Hold on, wait. He can see what you're wearing. He can see how you carry yourself. You understand what I'm saying? And there's just little certain things that he can see. The point that I'm actually making is this. If he felt intimidated, he wouldn't have approached you.
Well, yeah.
That's the point.
Well, I don't know, but man. Is it an ego thing? Is it a challenge?
What I'm trying to say is a lot of times, and this is the vocabulary of a lot of women, is that they always feel like a dude is intimidated. And if he was intimidated, the truth is he wouldn't have spoke to you. You know the confidence it takes for a man to come and approach a woman? Period.
Yeah, it takes a lot.
Even if.
It does.
Even
Listen,
if.
I always give out my phone number. I don't like to bruise its ego. I would change the last two numbers.
That's
of my
fine.
phone
You
number.
don't. You don't have to.
I just gave
Let
out
me
the
tell you what I
secret on
saw.
the podcast.
Hey, let me tell you what I saw. Let me tell you what I saw.
Because I know it takes a lot.
I saw this where a dude went up to a young lady and she was with two of her other homegirls, and he was like, hey, excuse, he goes, what you doing? She goes, here's $1.
Oh.
And he was like, what I need this for? She was like, oh, I thought you was coming to ask me for $1. They start laughing.
Oh, damn.
Look at him and start talking like, you kind of get my number with, I'm not saying that's you. I saw it happen.
Oh, wow.
And the level of the confidence that has to be conjured up to go and speak to a young lady. You think if that man was intimidated by you, like for real, he would have came and approached you? Nah, the answer is no. A lot of females actually feels like dudes are intimidated by their financial status. The truth is, your accomplishments is not what he's looking for you to bring to the table.
You know,
Well, I agree with that. I find that men don't, a certain class of men don't really care what a woman
You know what I'm saying? Well, your work ethic is not what he was looking to bring to the table. There is a lot more in what he was looking for. And of course, the first thing that caught a man's eye was
the visual.
Was your beauty.
Come on.
Right? And then after he saw your beauty, now he wants to know who you are.
That conversation.
All right? Now with who you are, it's not even so much about conversation because the first love of our lives was our moms. And this is the very thing that I spoke about last week. And this is what a lot of grown women got a problem with when it comes to men. Is the first thing that come out of their mouth is, I'm not your mother.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
and
such a.
This is the disconnect because the first unconditional love we ever experienced was our moms.
Yeah.
Right. And so it sounds like this conversation is going into, you looking for somebody to take care of you. No, the truth is, if our mothers were nurturers, we're looking for a woman with feminine energy that's going to nurture. Why? So that we know that when we give them a home, that's what's going to be in our homes. Mm-hmm. That's what's going to raise our children. Mm-hmm. That's what's going to fill the environment. When I come home from a long day's work, that's what it is. So it looks like you got a disagreement.
I don't. I'm listening and I agree with you. So recall when you asked earlier about when will I know that my season of rest is over, and then I said that it would be the sound. Mm-hmm. So to just support what Omar was saying, but I think you disagree. So we're going to go agree, then hear what disagree, because disagree over there like, I got something to say. But the first sound that you know is your mother's sound. Our moms, all of us, women and men, our moms teach us how to give love. Mm-hmm. So if that's your first example of how to give love when you matriculate and become an adult, that's what you're looking for. So as adults, grown adults, we are living out childhood experiences.
That's real.
We're living our childhood experiences. So a lot of things that we do, it's just innately within us because that's how our foundation was set. Mm-hmm. And so when he says that a woman says, you looking for me to be my mom, in all actuality, that's what he knows. So he's looking for a woman that somewhat fits the mold of what nurturer, what mm-hmm. love looks like. Mm-hmm. And so if you look at a lot of individuals that are married, some component of that wife is reflective of mom. Good or bad relationship.
Real.
Good or bad.
Yes. Real.
She has the sound of this is safe for me. This is nurturing. This is comfort. Ooh, this food is good. It's not as great as mom, but this food is good. And so I agree. I just think that we have to be able to identify that line. You looking for me to be your mom?
Well, you know what?
I'm looking for that sound.
I hear what both of you are saying. The only thing I would say is honestly, from experience, and this is from my experience, not everyone has the opportunity. Not everyone has run into the person that can reflect as their mother. And not to be all sob out and shit like that, but I don't have the biggest relationship with my mom. I'm not like, in her face, she's not in mine. But when I had my ex-wife, it wasn't like a view of seeing my mom. Like, I just saw someone who was like in my face, who was different from my old girl, even though, it would have been nice if it was, that mom feeling in a sense. I would
encourage you to do some therapy so you can identify.
No, that's fine. No, yeah, that's fine. Maybe they do relate and I didn't see it.
Of course.
More or less. But from my standpoint now, I don't think I saw that in her at all. But maybe I did, and maybe it's just like subconsciously like buried.
It is.
But
we're gonna Omar and I are gonna support you through this.
No, that's fair. But honestly, I don't know if I went to go look for that when she was right in my, like in front of my face in a way.
Your wife was in front of your face?
Yeah, my ex.
Excuse me. Yes, your
ex-wife.
It's legally official, guys.
Yes. But I don't know if it was necessarily that way. But what I will say though is having that person, you know, who supports you, who does help you try to build your circle, does make a difference and does come off as a nurturing mechanism from their end, no matter if they come off as your mom or not. Because if they're supportive, it just comes off just like that good nature that you need around you anyway. But but I also wanted to mention
he's laughing.
I'm not one to chase let me not say chase. I'm not one to collaborate with a woman based off of what she has as far as finances. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know a man that does.
No, you know what I mean? No, I'm just saying, like, some.
I don't know.
Yeah, of course. But some guys, I mean, some women look at it like, you know, she's not where she wants to be. And you will hear this, like, while dating.
The woman isn't where she wants to be?
Yeah, she's not where she wants to be, even though you are where you want to be and you're comfortable financially and you're doing what you have to do. Because she might feel like if you can do more than she wants to do on her own, then you are being a father figure, a parent to daddy the relationship. In a sense, I've seen that personally. Like when a woman tells me like, hey, you know what, I'm not happy. I don't have everything that I want. I don't need your help, or I don't want your help all the time.
Women, they don't want the help?
I'm telling you.
She's in her season of rest, but she opens up all the help. Okay, there's a mortgage to be paid. There's debt to be paid off. There's vacations to be taken. Where am I looking at the camera? Because I want him to know over there. I want him to know as a friend that is in rest, she is still open to the support of a man who wants to support a woman who is doing the work. She's open.
But that's that.
Because I ain't listen. I ain't turning down no help now.
It's also like a nature of wanting to be independent, though. Like, you know, when a woman can say, well, certain women that I've dealt with, as far as I know, I don't know about everybody. I ain't talking about everybody. They want to be in that phase where if they can take care of it on their own, they don't want that, oh, you did it for them mentality, because it's like saying, okay, I'm gonna have to keep running back to you if I run into problems.
Where are you meeting these women?
These are situational. Like, I just thought about 7 different situations. You know what I'm saying? From the one you just mentioned, this is probably an individual that has experienced some type of control, where they lived in someone's home, or this person has done X amount of things for them, and the person was like, hey, listen, I did this, and you gonna do what I'm asking you to do. You get what I'm saying? So that person probably dealt with some kind of control in the past.
Probably.
You get what I'm saying? And so now this is why they don't want anybody to do anything for them, so that they can have some kind of whatever.
Like the women are telling you they don't want you to do it.
She is shocked.
Where?
I'm trying to tell you.
The mortgage don't went up by 300 points. Car insurance is up almost 300.
Everything.
My light bill.
I meet women.
My budget for the year is up by $1,200. You think I'm gonna tell somebody, son, I don't need you to help me? Where?
Now look, these ain't. I've heard the women that he's talking about. I've heard those women brag about being able to pay those things instead of having the
Please
attitude.
invite me to that table, because I need to talk to them, sis. Because again,
to have the attitude
we
you're
talked
saying.
about why do we think relationships are important, and we prior to recording we were talking about partnership. So in my eyesight, that's what I see. That's what I desire when I do decide to again go back into dating and being in a relationship, that we have each other to fall back on, somebody that you can share your personal visions, your aspirations, life with.
That's real.
If somebody comes along, especially being an entrepreneur, the mind of an entrepreneur is always, what's next? How do I build? How do I get content? How do I grow leads? And so you're always in that process of thinking, and a lot of times it takes financial support. So if someone is going to come and allow you to go and be creative and be a dreamer over here and build, and they say, I got you, again, she's in her season of rest.
Look, so I'm gonna try
but that mortgage got to get paid. Okay?
I'm gonna try to make an attempt one more time from last week. I'm gonna do it now. All right.
You had to lay the foundation from last week.
No. I'm just gonna try. I'm just gonna ask this question. All right. And the reason I'm gonna this is suspenseful. The reason why I'm gonna ask this question seriously is because it is very important to us that we have successful relationships, and our intentions is so that people could really enjoy a happy relationship. And that doesn't mean everything is going to go well. I'm going to get to the point. My question is this, all right? What would you like for a man to bring to the table? Now, before you answer, all right, I believe that when we are on topics like this, it is always people trying to say, "Oh, I bring this to the table. I bring that to the table," and I don't think that they're trying to understand. You know what I'm saying? What each gender is trying to bring to the table. So instead of us asking you what you bring to the table,
because we are the table.
All right, I'm gonna tell you this: everybody's gonna feel like they're the table. You know what I'm saying?
But we are the table. But that individual, the man, he knows what table he wants to rest on. When you're online dating, they will say, do you want long-term? Do you want friends? Or do you want to just hook up?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So those are the questions. And if he's looking at this table is ready, made up. She ready to be a wife. I don't want to touch that table. But this table a little messy. She got room for some stuff. We want to have fun. This is where I want to land. So it's wherever that individual chooses to be.
So look, the way I view it is this. This is the table.
Nicely made up. A nice image of me.
This is the table.
It's all clean.
I'm an individual. My wife's an individual. And we're sitting here. I don't see my wife as the table. I see me bring what I bring, and then she's going to take what I bring and then create.
She's multiplying it, but her table was available for that. There was room on her table.
I hear how you're trying to position it.
Okay.
These are semantics.
I just want you to know that we are the table. We build
I
men.
can't, at this point, like for my goal, there's always two sides of the coin. We're going to have two perspectives on that.
I agree. Because I still trying to figure out where he meet these women that say they don't want him to help. Where?
My question.
You know, you get up at a church real quick. You get up at church, they say, giving all praise, honor, God to who is the head of my life. I want to just take the time to thank Brother Evans for coming into my life. You know, that's how they going to give the testimony.
Yeah, I don't.
We'll talk offline so I can see how you can plug me in with them because they need a little help.
So my question will always, because I want understanding. I don't want to ask you what you bring. I'm not going to tell you what I bring. I want to know, what would you like for a man to bring to the table?
What I need from you is understanding.
Uh-oh.
Right? You remember that?
Yeah. They ain't got no pay the bills or the mortgage in that song, dude.
But see, if he can understand where she is, then he's not. That's a part of it. And so I really don't like to answer that question because I think you give an individual a playbook on how to play you.
I like it. She talk like me, dog. I swear to God.
I don't like that. And so that's why the last guy got upset because I told him I'm going to know the sound. And you are going to know the sound, but you have to know what your non-negotiables are. You have to know those things that you just are not going to bend.
Yeah.
You have to hear where he is in life, where you are in life, to ask yourself, does this mirror match where I'm going in the next 5 to 10, 15, 20 years? Does this person have the capacity to carry the anointing for those of us that are in the church? Does this person have the capacity to carry the anointing that's on my life and what God has called me to do? If someone doesn't support that, and for me, that's major. I know that there's a call of God on my life, period. And so much so that this one guy, Omar, let me tell you about him. To answer your question, how I know is the sound.
Tell me,
let me
girl.
tell you.
You better tell me, girl.
He didn't have the sound. Let me tell you about him. So
well, he ain't got no voice.
He didn't have the voice of the Lord.
When you say the sound, before you say,
I'm gonna give you the example.
The energy, like
the sound is he's speaking my language, and I understand him. We can do life together because he sees where I am and what I'm doing, and again the calling. So here it is. My girlfriend came up with this ingredient for a vegan burger dish recipe. She mailed it. She wanted me to try it. So he called. He was like, "What are you doing?" I was telling him like, "I'm following her instructions. I'm gonna make this vegan burger. She wanted me to do a video. You know, she's in DC. That's what the people do, and all this good stuff." So he's like, "Oh, I want to come over and try it." He just want to see. He want to come over. Okay, come over. Da, da, da. He's like, "You got." It was a game that was on. I was like, "Yeah, I have YouTube TV. It's on there." So he's like, "Okay, I bet I'm coming over." Okay, he's coming over. Then my friend girl texted me, was like, "Hey, gentle reminder, you're still going to be able to jump on my prayer line right at 7." I was like, "Oh, I did tell you I would help you with your prayer line." So I messaged him and I was like, "Hey, by the way, I totally forgot. I told my girlfriend I would help her, but I have the YouTube TV and the burgers are almost done. So by the time you get here, burger TV ready for you."
Yeah.
Hey, friend, come over. Friend come over, and this maybe like 5 minutes before the prayer line starts. So I was like, the refrigerator's there. I'm going to go in my room. You good? You good? The game is on.
Yeah.
I come back out. He was like, "Really?" I said, "Oh, you didn't like the burger?" He was like, "No, the burger was all right, but you really praying on a Thursday? And you really got to pray? Y'all praying for an hour?" I didn't pray for an hour. It was a call. Yeah. And then I was like, "But the game is in halftime." Like, it was a perfect timing, right? Friend was like, "Prayer line on a Thursday? I don't see what's the purpose." He started going on about what's the purpose of a prayer line on a Thursday. That ain't the sound. That ain't you're not speaking the sound, sir. Yeah. Because now if you have an emergency, you want somebody to get into the prayer line to pray for you. But somebody going through something and I can't get on the prayer line on the Thursday because it's a Thursday. We have to regulate it to Sunday. So he and I had this big conversation that he just felt like it wasn't necessary. And immediately, Omar, I had to say, "Lorraine, that's not the sound."
We have had tons of conversations, tons of podcasts on topics like this. And this is the prime example of how to not waste your time. All right? Because you ain't trying to fit who you are in that individual's life. No, you're trying to see if this person is a match.
And that wasn't it.
You get what I'm saying? And in the event that you don't see the match, then boom, in that jump. Because ain't no reason that she over here praying and buddy gonna be like, "What you praying on a Thursday for?" Nah, bro. Hey, there's the door, buddy. There's the door.
But even when we had that conversation, he didn't agree.
Who cares if he don't agree? He don't got to move like that. And
I'm saying he didn't agree when I shared with him that we can be friends, but pursuing a romantic relationship, this is not going to work.
Oh, who cares if he didn't agree? You made your decision.
He already had his goals in what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
He didn't care what you wanted to do.
Side note, it doesn't matter if the other person that's interested in you doesn't agree. If you made your decision, that's final. Because you're looking for something that's long-term if you're really about a relationship. If you're trying to get into a relationship and you're not looking for something that's going to be forever, you're going to consistently waste your time. Bottom line.
See, that's why I think a lot of people don't come to this table talk in a sense to know what the person brings to the table. Like, if you don't have that sit down in the beginning, even like on the first date, it may sound crazy. If both of you are interested on the first date, what is the problem with understanding what each person wants in that moment, and either you keep going or you cut it the hell off in the beginning?
Well, I don't necessarily know if it's always in the beginning. I love dating, and I encourage singles to date because it's an opportunity for you to gather data. You're gathering data so you can make a sound decision. A sound decision, because ultimately, what's your goal? If you're kicking it and you hanging and having a good time, then you really might not have a metric to evaluate somebody by. But now on the other hand, someone who says, "I'm ready to be wedded," they have a list of things that they're looking for. That person needs to mirror and match exactly what that person is looking for. So I think it's different depending on the seasons and where you are in life.
That's important when you talk about seasons. Seasons.
Come on, because that was the word today.
No,
Pastor Omar, what you got?
No, you're tripping. You're tripping. It's different time frames when she says seasons. Different time frames in your life.
Yeah.
All right. And so I'm going to share my experience. I always talk about when I first dated my wife or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is how I knew, right? One of the things that she said at the very beginning, immediately I thought about my wife. And with my wife, she brought the best out of me.
Oh.
Now, the thing is,
Omar, tell the people that they got to be with someone that brings the best out of you and not the beast.
That's real. That's real.
Because some people will bring the beast out of you.
That's real. Now, what about my wife is my homies, they were really upset because my wife, she I ain't gonna lie, she gave this ultimatum. You know what I'm saying? But the ultimatum, if I was to tell y'all exactly what the ultimatum was, y'all would be like, oh, she tripping. But I really had to take 3 days to think about that ultimatum. And I came to the conclusion to recognize that ultimatum wasn't even for her benefit. It was for mine. All right. And so when she told me that I got to change my life and I gotta really get myself together, and she gave me some details on what needs to be done, it was literally because I was going down a path where I was putting us in danger and I was going to get killed or go to jail. And when I recognized that, she was just like, hey, listen, it ain't even about me. It's really about you. And if you can't love yourself, then I'm not going to love you. Ooh. And so when she said that, I just said, give me 3 days, give me 3 days. You know what I'm saying? And so after those 3 days, I cut off a lot of people. But from that point going forward, I always made money. But from that point going forward, I made better career choices. I made better behavior choices. I did all of those things. And I'm telling you, it was because of that is where I'm at today. My point that I'm actually saying is, just like she said, it's not just for the woman to bring the best out of the man, but it's also for the man to bring the best out of the woman. And I believe that a lot of confusion happens when we don't identify what exactly we want for the other individual to bring to the table. For example, we had a case last week where it said, no, for real. We had a case last week.
I was like, is this a detective? He said a case.
We had a case last week where, for the masses, majority of the women want leadership to be brought to the table. Want leadership to be brought.
But what does that look like for you guys?
Exactly.
That's the thing.
He just shared it. No. So I'm saying he just shared it in the example with the ultimatum. Because what I heard as a woman is, if you don't love yourself enough to choose and make the right decision so you can have a healthy and a secure and a safe life, that's not my testimony. I don't want to be attached to that. But if she can see, hear, and feel that he loves himself enough that he's making sound, whole decisions to secure his future, she then will attach herself to that. That's knowing the sound. If a man doesn't love himself first, he can't love me proper.
That's real.
He can't love me properly. If I, as a woman, I can't love myself properly,
that's real.
You now who are in your dating stage, why would you want to attach yourself to that? She doesn't take care of herself health-wise.
Take these notes.
We talking about debt, and she's like, please. She's not worried about that. You know what I'm saying? So you have to hear the sound when you're dating to collect the data to make a sound decision. Is this where I am in life? Is she going in that same direction?
Take these notes.
So I don't have to sit down with you at dinner and say, this is what I want. I can listen to the sound and know that for somebody who she's been rocking, and the thing about it is, you guys were young when y'all were going through those transitional states in life, but she was maturing, and she said to him, if you don't love yourself enough, I can't be with you. He said he needed 3 days to decide, right? Because that season was changing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Ultimatums.
Bro, I had 3 days.
3 days.
You know what I'm saying?
That's like hurricane season. The news start going, well, we got to prepare. We need some time. They don't give you a lot of time, but you need just some time
she
to
ain't
get yourself.
pressed me either. She was like, all right, let me know.
Okay, because listen, that wind gonna blow and it's gonna be gone.
Yeah.
We gave you the warning.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying? So,
and I'm glad that you asked, what does that leadership look like? You know what I'm saying? Because when someone says that they're looking for leadership and then they get the leadership, where someone is literally saying, hey, look, man, hey, this is how we are going to move.
You heard that word?
You get what I'm saying?
But you know what?
And then they'll be like, we gonna use your money. I'm gonna keep mine.
Yes, that's the avenue it goes to. It always goes.
But that's good because you want them to lean on you. Is what
hey,
you were saying earlier.
Yes,
I want to understand.
Yes, but there's also a point to see. Hey, listen, if you see this man doing everything, maybe you should chip your ass in too. You know what I mean?
I wasn't expecting you to get that aggressive.
I'm just saying, because
got some personal experiences over there.
I've experienced this, and it's uncomfortable when you feel like, no matter if the person says they're not doing it, you feel used. Because you're doing what you can do, what you want to do out of the kindness or out of whatever type of logic from yourself for that person, waiting or even hoping to receive somewhat of what they should be giving you back.
Tag me in.
You know what I mean? But go ahead
when you're ready. When you're ready.
But it's just more. It's so many relationships after my marriage that I personally have gone through that it's more of it's less of a push and pull, but more of a me pushing to try to get the individual to see where I'm coming from. And in those states of in that state of mind, you feel like you're wasting your time. You feel like you get to a point where you're like telling yourself, why am I even doing this? And then when you try to shun away from that person who's not giving you a result, then they want to come to you. It's crazy. Like it's like one of those things that could just like really mess with your head.
Oh, listen.
But go. I'm sorry.
You go ahead. You go ahead. Because when you tag me in, I'm. What
I was gonna say is it's good that that's happening because remember you're collecting data.
No, of course, yeah.
And then what you gonna do with that data? I
Make
get
a
what you're
sound
saying.
decision.
Oh yeah,
I get what you're saying. Absolutely. That's all we talk about on the podcast,
That's it.
episode after episode. But this is where my confusion comes in. All right, because we live in a time frame right now where there are tons of women that have these expectations that their man should be 6-figure earners.
My God.
All right, and then
That's a nice expectation to have.
And then when they have these expectations, there are now. I often ask, why should he make 6 figures? And if he makes 6 figures, how will that benefit your household? Because what's going to happen with you? Are you gonna keep working?
You know what? Let's talk.
1 second. And if you keep working, I'm sorry. And if you
Men
keep
are feeling this, ladies, this is a touchy subject.
and then if you keep working, and then you got a man that's paying the mortgage, he paying everything, 100%, even your car note. Let's say you got a man that's doing 100% of those things, and you have a full-time $80,000 salary.
That's good.
All right,
that's a good household.
You know what?
Income.
Let's drop it down.
Let's drop it down. This economy
60,000, 50,000. If you have that, if you have all of that, and this man is paying all of your bills, and that's what you wanted. You wanted a man to pay all of your bills. I want to know why. And you got that whole salary. What you gonna do with your salary? Not an idea. Not an idea of what you think you would do. The truth is, what do you do with a salary that you ain't got no bills to do?
So
Amazon packages.
It definitely feels like Christmas every time Amazon knocks on the door. Love the Amazon packages. But I think that given inflation and the cost of living, again, 2 is better than 1. So for some women, having that expectation to make life a lot comfortable is why they have it. But it goes back to originally what we were saying. You're dating to gather data. And so I think finances is a question that needs to be had on the front end before we move in, before we have kids. I mean, sometimes, kids happen along the way when you're not. Yeah. And, getting married and stuff. But we can't now get married and all of a sudden we don't know where her money is going. Did we not talk about that? And we didn't make a decision. Is her money our savings account?
That's a good point she's bringing up.
Is the money is her paycheck our savings? Because, and then he decides that he's going to pay all the bills?
Because what I'm hearing is if we got this far and I'm just seeing this now in marriage, then I messed up.
But then I'm going to look up at you like, why are you mad? And why are you so frustrated? You've been paying all the dinners and all the trips.
That's true.
And
it's just the way you started off.
It's the way you started off. My thing is this. And maybe from the beginning, it was never communicated. But at the same time, it's also assumed. And we shouldn't assume anything, right?
No.
We shouldn't assume anything.
Because the same way you're assuming, she's assuming like he good with this
exactly.
setup.
He good with that.
I love my husband. Like,
exactly.
Girl, he don't let me. I don't got to pay
and this is
bills.
where comfort comes in and just settling where you are. Because this is my thing. I hear someone be like, oh, I can buy a house. I can buy my car. I can do all these things. Well, when you got with me, why you not doing it? We bought a house, right?
Because partnership.
And why you ain't buy another house? We can Airbnb that thing.
Did we talk about that?
But no, we didn't. But this was my thing.
Well, there goes the why.
Hey,
I'm gonna keep my money over here.
You see what I'm saying? But look, this is my thing. And for that reason is why before the podcast, I asked you the question, what do you believe is the benefit of a relationship? Because if I'm taking care of everything, right? And then you have a whole nother salary. How is it that everything that I'm paying for is for us and everything that you buying is for you? And then if everything that you buying is for you, sometimes it's for the house. You know what I'm saying? But if everything that you buying is for you, how come we can't build a future together with your finances? Save that money so that we can increase and expand.
So a man should never be internally having these conversations. Like, he's going to get frustrated, high blood pressure, stress. Those are conversations that you need to be having on the front end. Or even if he started off when you guys were dating and he was a $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 earner, and doors start opening, promotion, entrepreneurship, and finances increase. Have we talked about what this new lifestyle looks like? We can't just live and we've never addressed our finances. So now you're having these internal dialogues with self or on the basketball court, and she's sitting back like, how he frustrated and upset with me, and we never addressed this.
Where you get Lolo from, dog?
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, cuz, she talking out here, cuz.
No, because like you said, folks will assume like she see it, he frustrated, she see it, how she did it, and it's like, wait.
See, that's
she don't see it, cuz.
That's the problem, though. Like, I think a lot of relationships go that avenue where everybody's too afraid to talk about certain things.
They're afraid?
Yeah, because
why?
Because certain things trigger other arguments. So depending on your relationship and depending on how open you've been from the beginning, as it should be, as you would want it to be, but not everybody is. Like, okay, I'll give you an example. If you start dating in a relationship and you're a year into the relationship, you're actually a couple, and you don't share what is in your bank account with the person that you're with, why don't you do that?
Again, who has opened up the door for that discussion?
But I'm just saying, but why don't, but why?
She always gonna bring it back there.
That's fine. But why do people not share?
Because then when we get in an argument, that's the question. I didn't know you felt. So this is where the condescending part of what he felt like. I didn't know you felt that way, and I apologize. Do you want to unpack that? You made me feel like we in therapy. It's just like, because you mad, bruh, so let's unpack it.
As you should, but why do people not share their finances after being with each other for a couple of years? Because they do exist.
Everybody's ideology is different. If you haven't put a ring on my finger, I don't necessarily, for me, not for the masses, me, you have not yet put a ring, or we've not spoken about we're going that direction. A year, things fall apart. Why do I need to share my bank info?
No, it's not like
a year.
It's not like you're giving them the exact account number. It's just more like, okay,
the
hey,
flow
listen,
of your finances.
It's just more like exactly. Yeah. So if you understand what people are doing with their finances, because it's a major issue in relationships.
Because we're not talking about it.
I'm gonna tell you this,
and we're not paying attention.
I'm gonna say the same point I said last week. I'm gonna say it this week. All right, I haven't been dating. I date my wife. I haven't been dating in years, from 16 to 34.
Yeah.
That's a lie. I haven't been dating from 20
Mighty.
to 34. You get what I'm saying? We had broke up in college. We had broke up in college. All right. But my point is this. I believe that if I was single in this time frame, man, and I was dating and I took you out on 3 dates and I spent close to $700 to $1,000 or whatever, and the next time I take you out, you ain't say, hey, maybe we can just go and watch Netflix and pick up something.
That's what I thought. I be mentioning this shit all the time.
But wait a minute. That's just my expectation. That's my expectation of a woman. Now, am I going to hold it against that woman? No, I'm not going to hold it against that woman. Why? Because
you moved in on that one. Like, that was a trigger example for you.
Hold on, wait. Am I going to hold it against that woman? No. I'm going to use the word she's been using. If a woman say, you know what, you've been spending a lot. Now, that's a sound.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's a sound that I would relate to. You get what I'm saying? But if she's just like, yeah, and we just keep on ordering out, me personally, if I was single, I'm slowly going to fall back, because if you don't care about how I'm budgeting, that means that you don't care how you budgeting.
Yeah. Or does she budget? She's just more infatuated with the life that I'm providing at this moment, or the meals, or this romance, but she ain't even looking at how I'm spending my money. She don't even care about how I'm spending my money. So if I tell you that a guy said to me that I micromanage his money, because I said to him,
he ain't got your sound.
He don't have the sound. I said to him, do you think that you're overspending?
He in a different moment in his life. He ain't on the same page as you.
And so he said, I feel like you be micromanaging my money. I said, no, you told me you had goals that you wanted to meet.
Come on, man.
You're trying to.
You told me that you wanted to meet those goals. So did you really need to go and spend? I can't even give the example because then if it gets somebody shared, I'm talking about him.
No, but this is my thing. Not to interrupt you, but look, that's the kind of stuff that we need to analyze. It sounds good to be like, I got these goals and I'm going to accomplish it in the next 3 months and in the next 6 months. And then you got somebody that's responsible come in, not to control you, but to help your butt.
Yep.
Because then we are the table. But again, just paying attention to, I am, because that's what women are. But again, paying attention to the end, and I love it. Paying attention to the individual and seeing how they respond and how they move, you're collecting data to make a sound decision.
I personally love criticism. I want you to tell me what I'm doing wrong because
a Haitian man?
I
had to just let that Haitian mama out right there. Because a lot of y'all don't like that.
I've grown a lot, and sometimes I can have walls up and I have blinders where I'm not seeing what I'm doing wrong.
That's what they say when they get close to 40.
No. Yo, I'm telling you.
It's okay. Embrace it.
Look, I'm being honest.
It's happening.
I'm being honest. From my, I think I've learned a lot from my past.
Oh, for sure.
From my past, and you reflect, you go into that corner, that space where you're like, damn, how did this go down? And what did I do? Not only what the person did, but mostly you're thinking, damn, what did I do to have it go down this road? So I've analyzed things. I know what I can be like or what I used to be like. So whenever someone says something, I take it in and I'm like, okay, let me go through what you just said about me. I'm not going to be like, nah, you don't tell me how it is. I know what's going on. I don't do none of that no more. When I was younger, I had that kind of attitude. But I think as men, we should adjust to when you do hear a woman say something like, hey, you think you should be buying them that stupid ass Gucci wallet that costs you $1,000 when you just said you need to do this instead so you could grow your business? I want to hear that because I'm going to be like, oh, shit, this was a bad decision. Mm-hmm. So, you go ahead and reflect off of that. I don't know about everybody else, but to get off of this, because I really wanted to say this, right? This is something different. I'm sorry. I think a lot of the horrible, and I'll say horrible, women who decide that a man should make a certain amount of money for them to be comfortable to want to join in a relationship, I think those women should be subject to being single forever.
Whoa.
Because it's so because it's
the
so
judge.
hell yeah. You know why? Because we get judged off of what we do and how we do it all the damn time. And
that's their sentence?
No, because hell yeah. Look, let me tell you something.
Don't give him a gavel.
Let me tell
Do not make that fine.
Let me tell you something,
baby Jazz.
Because he was like, I think they should be sentenced. Bien seguido. You gave them the hand and everything.
It doesn't make any sense. Look, it don't make no sense for somebody to be making, as a man, I make $150,000 a year, and then you tell me from your $45,000 a year salary that I should come in to take care of you. Number one,
she's telling you this like up front?
No, I mean the way everyone's talking on social media and all this type of stuff. So number one, I didn't come in.
Don't get no social media advice.
Oh hell nah. But no, I didn't come in to be your father.
Guys, we're social media now.
Oh, of course.
And I'm giving good advice.
I didn't come in to be your father. And if you want me to be your father, then that means it goes the way.
It goes back to what we're talking about.
That's what I'm saying.
With his mom having the sound of nurturer, your dad is the expression of how you receive love.
No, but he's going in a different direction.
I know, I hear him.
But
he's going in a different direction than this.
But what I'm saying,
what direction you going?
Listen.
But what I'm saying
ahead,
is, if you have me doing all of this, you make your amount of money, and I make whatever you needed me to make, that over $100K, which number one, that's a small percentage of men in this economy now, and you want me to do all of that. You have to understand that it comes with, and I'm not personally like this, but it comes with control factors. You can't tell me what to do on the same level as you. because you want this, I'm gonna give you that, but you have to do what I say. In whatever you don't want is what I want. It's not your choice in a sense.
That's real.
Like, how do you understand that I make 150, you make 45, and I'm telling you, hey man, you ain't going out like that. You ain't going outside like that. Oh. You can't tell me shit. What you gonna tell me? Oh, so you don't tell me. So the new
level of income allows a man to have a different conversation with his woman.
Hold on. No, it's not about the income. No, it's not about. It's about what he's doing with the income.
It's what you want. You want me to do certain things for you, but yet you don't want to base anything on listening to what I have to say to you or about you.
But I don't care if you were making 50, 60. Now 150. I don't think that the term, your income level doesn't necessarily determine.
All right, forget the income. Take the income out.
No, okay. Let's take the income out. It's the whole
paying
thing.
everything for you.
It's the whole thing
of taking care of your life.
You want to be taken care of, and I'm not talking about you personally.
No, I'm just talking about women in general. If she's being taken care of, he can't then be stressed out on the back end, because what conversation are you having with her?
But that's the thing. It's like, right, okay, hold on. You'll hear. I can join. You'll hear. I want you to take care of me, but I want to be able to do what I want to do.
Okay, and then what do you have to do, Judge? At that time, you say he had to take 3 days because his now wife gave him an ultimatum. So now in your dating stage, if a woman says that to you, what do you do?
What? She says what exactly?
Exactly what you just said.
Shit.
You don't need 3 days.
No, but it don't take 3 days.
Okay.
Let me attempt to.
But women are saying that?
Oh yeah.
I'm really wondering though, like where you meet these women.
Hey, let me attempt to interject.
Like just like that?
It's just like,
I want a man to pay all my bills and just take care of everything.
Yep. I have a spreadsheet if he wants. I can share the spreadsheet to see if it's within your budget too.
And if he wants to take, and this is what I want. I want him to take care of everything. So then, what will then be that woman's responsibility?
I don't know what the nature of that conversation is with that man. I've never had a man that I've dated and said to him, "I need you or want you to pay all of my bills."
Yeah, I want not need, want. They don't say want.
Yeah, want you to pay all my bills. I don't know any of my friend girls either. Again, we were talking about this at brunch, that are like that. We are very goal oriented. HBCU grads.
Nice.
You heard that, FAMU?
Nice. Okay.
HBCU Rattlers, grads, women who go to work and or are about their business. If a man comes along, he complements that, and he too needs to be someone who is going to his 9 to 5, a man with vision, a man that has a business if he's developing that. It's just that partnership. Again, it goes back to the original question, why do we think relationships are important? It brings forth partnership. A lot of conversations we talk about, I think in the Black community, are a lot of general conversations, but I think it just comes from our childhood, because I don't want to say a lot of our childhood is broken, but as adults, we're living out childhood examples. So if dad was the one that went to work and mom had opportunity to chill, the kids saw that. So in their nature, the man who's now the boy who's now a man has seen that his dad was the provider, so he puts himself out as the provider. And the girl that he gets with, she sees that he likes to be the provider. She falls back. He can't get frustrated. You didn't talk to her and say that. If she has been in a household where dad was the one that was always getting money and mommy just made sure the house was clean, if that's now the life that she's recreated as a woman, she can't be frustrated. I'm always home with the kids. I do this with the kids. I got to clean the house with the kids. You can't be frustrated because, sis, did you voice that to your partner?
That's true.
If we voice it to one another and that person is totally dismissive and disregards what your feelings are, what you're saying, that's a whole nother level of a conversation. But on the dating side of it, he cannot be frustrated. I'm paying all the bills. I'm taking out the 4 or 5 dinners and she ain't offered yet. Sir, have a conversation. Hear and see what her response is. If you say that and she does not, next week, she hitting you up like, where are we going this weekend? Like, girl, I just had a whole serious conversation with you last week.
Yeah. Then what's the repercussion?
This is what I'm saying. He's gathering data, Omar.
You need to take your ass out of there.
You needed 3 days. He said he'll need 3 days. I just think we have to pay attention. If we pay attention and really are, so today, seriously, in church, you talked about timing and season. Pastor's message was about timing and discerning the time when one should move from singleness into marriage.
I was just not to interject. I'm so sorry. Don't forget what you were going to say. I was just about to talk about. I know we're talking about bringing to the table, and I know we're talking about like the beginning of relationship, but when you were just talking, it's very important for those that are already in long relationships. Please don't forget what you were going to say. Those, don't forget. Go ahead.
I mean, I was just flowing, so I probably forgot, but just go.
Guys don't want to get married nowadays.
Hey,
but
man,
go ahead.
That's
for those
not
that
true.
are in it, it's not true. For those that are in relationships, and for those that are in, I was going to talk about having an intentional conversation about when things change, when there is a life event, or where you are having those thoughts. And what I mean, and I want to be very, very, very like detailed with that. For example, if you all were dating or whatever, and then you had children, and then now you felt like your significant other wasn't giving you enough time because children now came into the picture. You get what I'm saying? What just happened was there was a shift in your relationship, and if you're
new season,
and if you're basing your relationship off of how things were 3 years ago, you got to understand that it has changed now.
the season has changed.
You get what I'm saying? And so now you guys have to get on the same page and identify where you guys are currently right now, and how are you going to move forward with this new situation. And as you continue to move forward and you have new salaries and one person lost their job or whatever, you guys have to come together. You had another situation. So it's always going to be times where you guys have to come up with a game plan to make adjustments. Otherwise, one thing that she said earlier, and she said a man, and normally, and for me, I don't normally take well when a woman tell a man, how a man should be. But it was really good what she said. A man shouldn't be having these conversations internally with themselves.
It creates frustration, breakdown, and blow ups.
That's real.
Oh yeah,
That's real.
yeah.
And so I advocate for therapy, because therapy has been
I love therapy.
amazing. Therapy has been like, really? Therapy has been like, I'm crying because she asked this one question. I don't even know. I told my therapist now I'm better. But when I first started working with her, I would have to bring tissue. She would say one thing and I'm like,
Balling.
I don't even know. Why did that just hit me like that?
Damn.
And then I would get off the line sometimes, and I would just have to sit there and just like soak in it. And it's like, what just happened? But it also just allowed me to recognize and be more intentional, be more aware, be more present, know my self-worth, know my vision for life, know the sound, because I had to do homework about what is his sound. So I know his sound. I don't share it often, but I know his sound. And I've been doing the work and am still doing the work. And I love the space that I'm in. I have a lot of friends who are married. Some got married in their 20s, early 30s. Now that we're on the latter side of 30, my Lord, looking at 40.
Yeah, I'm on the low side. Y'all crazy. I'm just joking.
Well, he's closer to it than I am.
Yes, that's right. You got to look at the bright side.
It's okay. It's okay. We're here to support you.
Why don't you get the final thoughts in real quick? Because, God, I am not old.
No, you're not. You're seasoned, and you're going into one of the best decades of your life.
What
40.
What she really just said was, you're like chicken that's marinating in the refrigerator. You're seasoned.
You know when Haitians be thumping that viand, it be so good when you go to cooking it. The music, right. What does that mean?
Let's get the final thoughts in. We'll start ladies first. Lorraine.
Lolo. What's your final thoughts?
My final thoughts
to the people.
So at the camera. So my final thoughts is the topic for today is what do we as women bring to the table? And I stand by it. I stand by the fact that we are the table. We present the room for a man to find exactly where he can rest, depending on what our table is displayed as. I think that as singles, we should embrace that season of our lives. We should do everything that our heart desires before we go into marriage. You should learn of yourself. You should be healthy. You should eliminate debt. My Lord, these student loans. Biden, don't forget what you said you was going to do. But I think I think in all honesty, one should grow and know themselves. And then when you transition to that season of your life where it's marriage, you should embrace that and have fun. So all of the conversations and different negative, I think, vibes that we see on social media in regards to Black love, it doesn't have to be your story. Everybody's story is different. Everybody's journey is different. So let's not look at the next individuals and mirror match that. Know what your vision is, live in your space, live in your truth, and own that. And I promise you'll be able to turn back and share that with somebody else that's going to need it. So that's my piece. Love. I love love. Love the life that you live and live the life that you love. That's my final.
Yo.
Damn. Go ahead, Omar. You follow up on
Oh man, she said a mouthful. Only thing I want to say, she kept saying the word sound. In other words, man, forget that list. Forget that list, and I ain't gonna say forget it, but what I'm gonna say is that list that you got, don't give it to the person. Listen. Take that list and listen to what they're saying and see if they actually match your expectations. And so know what you want that person to bring to the table, because when you can identify, then you have the match. Then you hear what she called the sound. They're speaking your language, and they got the same. They're prioritizing the same thing. They got the same mindset, and they got the same values as you. And that's what's going to be important. And that's why you want to understand what you want the other person to bring to the table, so that you can have a successful relationship.
Man, what's going on? I'm following up.
Yeah, that's on you. What you got to say?
Come on, 40. You got it.
La 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 la.
Look, I'll just say real quick.
You got it.
Man, y'all trumped everything. Not that guy.
Not that Trump.
No.
America's already great.
Yes, I would say. Look, when it comes to the table, make sure you clean yours off first.
That's good.
Before you invite anybody to it.
That's really
and with that being said, peace.